Hello, my name is Craig, and today I'm going to talk about the U.S. Employment-Based Immigration Third Preference, or EB-3 program. So what is the EB-3 program? The purpose of the program is to fill a need for skilled and unskilled work in the United States. A U.S. employer will file a petition to the Department of Labor in the United States to hire a foreign worker because a local one isn't available. The program can benefit the employer and the foreign worker. It benefits the employer by allowing them to fill a vacancy in their company. It benefits the foreign worker by allowing them to work and immigrate to the United States with their family. There are three categories in the EB-3 program. First is the professionals category. People in this category must have a bachelor's degree, and their occupation must be one which requires a bachelor's degree in order to perform the job. Examples of occupations in this category include engineers and teachers. The second category is skilled workers. This category requires at least 2 years of experience in the job being offered. The third category, and the one we'll focus on today, is the unskilled worker category. This category has very few requirements, but the worker must pass a medical exam and have a clear drug screening test before they're eligible to apply. Let's take a look at the requirements for the unskilled category. First, there is no net worth requirement, no education, work experience, or language requirements as well. However, each applicant must be in good health, pass a medical exam, have a clear drug screening test, and have no criminal record to be eligible to apply. Now, on to the procedures of how to apply for the EB-3 program. The program follows 4 basic steps. The first step is the DOL, or Department of Labor stage. At this step, the employer will submit a petition to the Department of Labor to hire a foreign worker. If it's approved, the department will issue a labor certificate, also called an LC, an audit, or denial. The second step is the USCIS stage. Once the LC is issued, the employer can file an I-140 petition. This petition has 2 options for processing. The first is regular processing at a cost of $700. The second is premium processing, which is much more expensive. However, it can also result in a much faster processing time. At the third stage, the NVC, or National Visa Center stage, the I-140 application is approved and one's priority date becomes current. At this time, the NVC will issue a visa fee invoice to the applicant. The applicant can pay this fee online and begin their DS-260 application. The final step in the process is the consular interview. After the DS-260 application is submitted, the petition will move to the U.S. consulate located in the applicant's country. The applicant will then have an interview, and a final decision will be made on the application. To summarize, the first 2 steps in this process are completed by the employer. The second 2 steps are completed by the applicant, also known as the beneficiary. Here are the estimated processing times to complete the applications. The first stage, the DOL stage, takes approximately 2 to 3 months if there is no audit given. The second stage, or the USCIS stage, takes 3 to 5 months through the regular processing stream, or 2 weeks through the premium stream. At the third stage, when the visa fee invoice is presented, this takes approximately 1 to 2 months to process. The second part of this stage is when the visa fee is paid and the DS-260 is submitted. This also takes approximately 1 to 2 months. Finally, after the interview is successful, the applicant can prepare to bring his or her family with them to the United States and begin working on their visa. All told, the entire process can take between 9 and 14 months. However, it's good to keep in mind that these are only estimates and that they are subject to change. Here are some samples of EB-3 documents. The first is the labor certificate submission confirmation. As you will see, this is done by email. The second document you will see is the labor certificate approval notice, which is also received by email. Next, you'll see samples of an I-140 receipt notice and an I-140 approval notice. Both of these notices will be mailed to the employer. And here, we can see a sample of the visa fee invoice and an interview invitation letter. Again, both of these come by mail. You'll notice for the visa fee invoice that the cost is $345. It should be noted that this is per applicant. In other words, for a family of 4, the total cost will be $1,380. This is a sample drug test report. It's the applicant's responsibility to make sure they have this done at their cost and to make sure they have a clean drug screening. Finally, we have a sample immigrant visa, which is placed in the applicant and his or her family's passports. We also have a sample of a permanent resident card, also known as a green card. The green card allows the applicant and his or her family to stay in the United States permanently. At the start of the EB-3 program process, the applicant must provide certain documents as well as background information to support their application. This includes copies of the applicant and his or her family's passport, birth certificate, civil status documents such as marriage or divorce certificate, and visa photos. The applicant must also provide any current or previous U.S. immigration documents, as well as a 1-minute introductory video in English. Different documents are required at different stages in the process. For example, after the I-140 approval, a copy of the service agreement and any invoices and receipts between the intermediary company, for example, an attorney, and the beneficiary, also known as the applicant, are required. And after the visa fee invoice receipt, the applicant must also submit a completed and signed DS-260 for themselves as well as their family members. They must also submit a criminal record clearance for themselves and any family member over 16 years old. And finally, what's required for the interview? It's notable that all of the documents required for the interview must be original documents. For example, birth certificate, passport, and criminal record checks all must be the original documents submitted at the time of the interview. If a document is not in English, it must be certified translated. The applicant must also submit a completed DS-260 confirmation letter, as well as 4 visa photos for each family member. I hope this has been informative for you. Good luck in your application.